Nimbula metangu nimilote na isoro tembua nama kia uminarua kina ona na veka vimoniti kina vakaromuka rongo mena via sama kina viva ka baro takini ndreko malolo ena radio Fiji wan na wongani pia niano ngai nama kia kina
आपकी शादी होने वाली है 5 बच्चे होंगे 5 हाय मैं हूँ आपकी सहेली वेनू सुनते रहिए मिर्च एफएम मैं हूँ ना 9 से 12 बजे तक
Tonight's international sugar meeting hears Fiji's tale of progress. Catholics prepare for historic ordination this Saturday, and pharmacies deny Consumer Council claims on pricing. Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate, and you're watching FBC News. Fiji raised concerns about the Economic Partnership Agreement with the European Union at the 43rd session of the International Sugar Council in Nadi this morning. Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama, in his opening address, highlighted the reforms shaping the industry towards future prosperity. Christopher Chand reports.
Sugar has been the backbone of Fiji's economy, but the industry faces many new challenges. The most significant is the IPA negotiations with the EU. Exports will suffer dramatically if an interim IPA is not agreed to.
The EU has announced that Pacific countries that do not ratify this interim IPA by 2014 will lose duty-free access, including for sugar. Unfortunately, there are a number of contentious issues contained in the interim IPA that are unacceptable to us.
The International Sugar Council has been told how IPA has become an issue of highest priority for Pacific countries.
The interim IPA, as its name suggests, was never intended to be a permanent solution. We call on the EU to enter into these negotiations with the Pacific with a sense of urgency that matches our own.
Bainimarama says African, Caribbean and Pacific nations are also hoping for a 5-year extension to the EU ACP quota system.
This additional 5 years will give ACP countries added security as they continue to restructure, modernize, and diversify their sugarcane industries to meet today's challenges.
Bainimarama says reforms have helped revive the sector, and they are no longer just keeping sugar afloat, but being ambitious about increasing production and diversifying the industry. Christopher Chand, FBC News.
Meanwhile, the Executive Director, Dr. Peter Barron, today pointed out that political instability is one of the factors which has impacted the industry. But he has shown confidence in political developments here and says 5 areas will need to be addressed, including political stability and the land tenure system, if we want to reach full potential. The ISO is also encouraged by developments both political and within the sugar industry. Thousands of Catholics are busy preparing for the ordination of Archbishop Father Peter Loy Chong. People from Fiji and across the region are expected to attend the historic ceremony at Suva's Vodafone Arena on Saturday. Vasita Kotoy Wasawasa reports.
Days before the ordination, Catholics are turning up to the Sacred Heart Cathedral in Suva for confession, spiritual preparation for the historic event.
I'm glad that I'm still young and I'm seeing a second local priest to be ordained.
140 priests, 20 bishops and cardinals, as well as thousands of Fijians will watch Father Peter's ordination. Such a ceremony involves days of planning and preparation. This is a robe to be worn by a priest attending the ceremony. 140 such garments are being prepared by the Sisters of Our Lady of Nazareth. Even the Archbishop-elect has a new robe which he will wear at his ordination.
For us Catholics now, from June 10th, it'll be a new era for many of us. It'll take our faith onto a higher level. It'll boost each and every Catholic in Fiji to be a people set apart.
A 300-strong choir will have final rehearsals tomorrow. This hype of activity and strong community involvement are good signs for Father Peter Lloyd Chong. Even before he officially takes over, Catholics seem to be reinvigorated.
I think it's a very exciting moment for the church. I don't underestimate the challenges that lie before him. He's picking up a church that is grappling with a very quickly changing culture and new questions that would not have been there 30 or even 20 years ago. But he's been well prepared.
Father Pat Colgan's a Colombian priest who served in Fiji for more than a decade. Cardinals from the Vatican are also expected at the ceremony 4 days from now. Vosita Kotiwaswasa, FBC News.
A pharmaceutical company has taken a swipe at the Consumer Council of Fiji for allegedly publishing wrong prices of medication. Superdrug Pharmacy says the Commerce Commission determines the price of drugs and not the council. In response, the Consumer Council is now calling on all pharmacies to display the list of drugs that are under price control. Roland Koroy reports.
The Superdrug Pharmacy in Suva is concerned with the price list quoted by the Consumer Council in a Fiji Times article.
None of the prices are correct. None of the prices. Even if one was correct, I would have been happy, but none of the prices are correct. All the prices, I don't know where the Consumer Council got the pricing from, but they are all incorrect pricing, and you go to any pharmacies, and the prices are not there. It's all different prices. We have got a higher price. You know, those prices are not even the cost of the medicines that has been quoted by the Consumer Council.
In response, Council CEO Pramila Kumar maintains the advertised list is from the Commerce Commission.
The whole intention of that article was to educate consumers that medicines are under price control and they should be looking at the list which Commerce Commission has approved, and that list should be available to consumers in each and every pharmacy. That was the intention.
Kumar acknowledges that the prices she's quoted may not be accurate. However, she says what's more important is that pharmacies need to display the list.
The prices will differ because it's not a fixed price control item. So that's the clarification I have to provide. But in terms of whether the pharmacy should be displaying the list, then I would like to question the pharmacists. Why have a list?
Kumar says they will now lobby for all pharmacies to have the list displayed for the public. Roland Koroy, FBC News.
And in a statement late this afternoon, the Ministry of Industry and Trade apologized on behalf of the Consumer Council, saying it made an error in printing drug prices from 2012 instead of the updated version. The first ever study of pollution levels in the Suva harbour is being carried out by the Environment Ministry. On the eve of World Environment Day, the department says samples have been sent to the University of the South Pacific's laboratory for analysis. As Ritika Pratap reports, this will form the basis of cleanup campaigns for the Suva Peninsula.
The Suva harbour has long been polluted with sewage, litter and waste from ships sailing into the capital. The results of pollution levels will decide what steps need to be taken to make the harbour clean again.
The results provided by USP, we will be carrying out again a compliance campaign of existing industries, auditing of existing major facilities along the foreshore to try and resolve and try and reduce.
A major cleanup will also be undertaken tomorrow in the lead up to World Cleanup Day in September.
It will start from the Lami to Nosori, the corridor within Suva and Lodala Harbour, and up the river and into its tributaries.
The Health Ministries also joined in so that junk items can be removed from the environment.
Damaged washing machines, damaged refrigerators and other white goods, the e-goods and also the derelict vehicles. These are vehicles that are actually an eyesore to public and have been found by the Ministry of Health as breeding sites for vector-borne diseases.
A handbook on protecting the environment called the Eco School Challenge will also be launched tomorrow. Schools will be assessed on how well they manage their environment based on the handbook. Ritika Pratap, FBC News.
After the break, more revenue expected to pour in by way of connections to the Southern Cross cable.
जहाँ हो प्यार का बसेरा और रिश्तों की खुशबू, वो है आपका अपना घर संसार. Join me on घर संसार, Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. only on Radio Fiji 2.
Bula, I'm DJ Toro. Join me every Monday to Thursday, 7 until midnight. The premium classics on Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Welcome back. You're watching FBC News. Fiji is on its way to becoming the hub of communications for the South Pacific. With more neighboring islands interested in linking up with Fiji's Southern Cross cable, more money will pour into the country.
Fiji seems to be in the right footing, with Tonga taking the lead in connecting to the Southern Cross cable system at Fintel.
We're trying to establish ourselves as the hub for the Pacific, encouraging the nations around us to connect directly into Fiji and to interconnect, of course, into the Southern Cross network, which gives them access into the information systems of the world.
Fiji has been connected to the Southern Cross cable system for 13 years, and during this time, countries like New Caledonia, French Polynesia and American Samoa chose to connect to Australia instead.
We're talking to Vanuatu as well, and that has progressed quite well. We've already signed a landing party agreement with them, and also now trying to source the necessary approvals through the government of Fiji, and of course they have an EIA in place for that already.
Samoa is also in the waiting line to connect to Suva, which according to Korevuki is a cheaper option. All these tied in mean more revenue from telecommunications.
It is, yeah. Fiji will benefit from the landing of this cable here in Suva.
Technology and development of communication systems is always evolving. This keeps Fintel on its toes to ensure that users get their money's worth. Mikalonga, FBC News.
Rotuma's cooperative has lost thousands of dollars because there's no place to store their produce. The only large-scale freezer owned by the co-op keeps breaking down, which means agricultural produce turns stale before export. Apisalomidoka has more.
Thousands of dollars worth of produce was rejected last year by buyers, leaving the Rotuma Enterprise Cooperative Limited at a loss.
Yes, Remcol as a company lost about 48,000 Fiji dollar, and that is the loss of the market and also the cassava that we harvested and processed, but it turned out bad because of the freezer.
The freezer was installed in Rotuma 2 years ago as a government initiative to assist the island. However, constant breakdowns aren't helping.
We couldn't supply our frozen cassava order because the freezers are not capable of blast freezing our cassava when we peel. So we had to tell our importers, sorry, we cannot supply you frozen cassava. But there's a lot of cassava orders coming in, frozen, and that is the market opportunity that we have lost because of the freezer.
Even supplying produce within Fiji is difficult. Boats that service the island don't have proper freezers to store Rotuma's produce on a 2.5-day trip to Suva.
If we pack those root crops in sacks and put it on the deck, exposed to the sun, I am sure that when it reaches Fiji, the quality will be deteriorated, will be reduced.
The Commissioner Eastern, Lieutenant Colonel Netani Rika, says works are underway to get the freezers in Rotuma fully operational. Apisalomedoka, FBC News.
A new employment center for disabled people will be up and running soon. It's called Include Disability, Employ Disability, or the IDEA project, aimed at training people with disabilities so that they can find jobs. Shireen Lata reports.
Around 18% of Fijians live in some form of disability, but about only 2% of them have jobs. The Fiji Disabled Persons Federation wants this to change.
Employment will encompass access. Employment will encompass education. Employment will more or less bring about financial independence and improve the livelihoods of persons with disability.
Mary Roden can't work, but this hasn't stopped her from earning a living as a machinist for more than a decade now. While she was lucky to have the support from her family and employers, Roden believes the IDEA project will empower others like her.
I strongly believe that this IDEA program will be able to sustain this program with the support of government and corporate sectors. Each individual, if we all cooperate, work together, I'm sure we'll be able to help.
The Australian government has provided $150,000 towards the project.
Disability inclusive development is central to Australia's efforts in helping people overcome poverty. And we recognise that poverty is both a cause and a consequence of disability. And we are committed to ensuring that the benefits of development reach those that are most excluded.
The project will also ensure that there is proper access to workplace for the disabled people and that social stigma doesn't remain a barrier for them to join the workforce. Sharin Lata, FBC News.
Time to welcome Jamie, and Sevens Rugby seems to be taking the centre stage again.
Of course, Jackie, it is the Melrose Cup we're talking about.
I also hear one of the more vocal critics had a few things to say about the Sevens selection.
Well, what would a Fiji team be without the comments of the voice of rugby himself? Coming up after the break, Graham Eden has his say on the Sevens selection, and our run-on Flying Fijian side to face Canada was named today. Stay with us for the details.
I wake up in the morning, I prefer to go down to the gym, get a bit of physical work done. Also, later on in the day, I decide to go through for meditation. I do a bit of reading to find out what the latest songs are, a bit of research. And for me, it's all about the listeners.
Hey, what's up? I'm Rio, and this is the Traffic Jam every weekday from 3 o'clock to 7, only on Today FM. Today's hit music. What's up?
नमस्ते दोस्तों, मिर्ची रफ्तार से मैं अश्निल सिंह। शामिल हो जाइए हमारे साथ मंडे टू फ्राइडे फ्रॉम 3 to 7 p.m.
Welcome back. You're with FBC Sports. Choosing the best of the best for the Rugby World Cup Sevens in Moscow is all Fiji rugby fans want. However, recent actions by those in charge has drummed up trouble from critics, wondering whether or not we can bring the Melrose Cup home again. Elena McDonald reports.
Everyone's got their very own question to ask Fiji Sevens head coach Alivereti Ndere.
Why have you left out Borotu and PO2Y? Two standout players.
The odds are stacked up against him following his performance as coach so far, and because of it, there'll never be any pleasing everybody.
Eddie Wonga was basically dismissed from being assistant coach. He took the blame for their not winning in the Vegas occasion. We also had Tim Wanangolo. What a gentleman he was when he was told he wasn't wanted.
A fallout by a national selector has fingers now pointing toward Rugby House to answer for what most feel is random selections for the team to Russia.
Past experience. We cannot afford, there is no way we can afford to consider new chums to face the music of a huge tournament of such immense importance.
There's so much hoo-ha surrounding the team because the Sevens Rugby World Cup is the pinnacle of the shortened code.
In our country, the whole 850, 900,000 would want and be content with victory at the World Cup. And let's all hope that it goes right for us and that Derry takes heed of everybody's wishes and realises that it's for the country, not just for him.
It's another tall order for Ndere, and with everything he'll have to face over the next 3 weeks, it'll be a matter of deliverance. Elena McDonald, FBC Sports.
The Flying Fijians have made minimal changes to the team, which will take on hosts Canada in the Pacific Nations Cup on Thursday. Setefano Somadha moves from loose head prop to tight head, making a swap with Jerry Yanuianu Tawa. Rupeni Nasinga is bracketed with Wamelewa Ravu at lock. Skipper Kapusingera moves to number 8 to take over from Netani Tale, while Malakai Ravulo starts at open side flanker. In the only change in the back line, Isena Tonga replaces Cyril Mbombo on the wing. The match starts at 10:30 Thursday morning. Meanwhile, Fiji's wildcard at the 2013 Volcom Fiji Pro Surf Championship, Ada Ravulo, has qualified for the second round at Cloudbreak in Tavarua. He scored 8.5 points to finish second in his heat, behind Brazilian surfer Miguel Pupo to move into the next round. Ravulo was to take on 11-time world surf champion Kelly Slater. However, the American did not compete today on account of being absent to attend the birth of his nephew in Florida. Slater, however, is expected to reach Fiji waters tonight in time to compete in round 2 tomorrow. Ravulo has done one better than fellow Fijian Issei Tokovo, who bowed out in the first round last year.
Come out.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Football Association is waiting for its president Rajesh Patel to make a decision on whether Lambasa will be able to field its overseas-based players for the Vodafone Fiji Fact. There has been a lot of controversy surrounding the availability of Ilai Tuilau, Maditu Dunandamu, Daniela Wanga, Wirawama and Pitambole Tonga for the Bambasing Alliance. PGFA Chief Executive Bob Kumar says they have received Lambasa's grievances. Day 5 of the South Pacific Bowling Carnival continued today in Suva. Although bowlers from around the region are here to compete, for some, the carnival is a major chance to sit back and unwind. Reports.
For David Harrison, the South Pacific Bowling Carnival is a major drawcard to enjoy not only the competition, but also the friendly people. The Port Macquarie, New South Wales native has been coming to the tournament for the past 20 years and has no intentions of stopping anytime soon.
Well, it's a very well-run carnival. The people over here are lovely, everybody. I really have a good time when I come to Fiji.
For others, the tournament is a great way to better their skills against bowlers from around the region, as well as build and maintain lifelong friendships.
But the one here in Suva has been going on for 50+ years now, and people from all different races. Last year we had the Papua New Guineans here too. It was sad that they couldn't make it this year. And main thing, meeting all the different races. Yeah, and it just brings everybody together.
The carnival continues throughout the week and will conclude with the singles finals on Sunday. Talendo Kavaka, FBC Sports.
Well, I wouldn't mind taking up bowling myself. That wraps up sports for tonight. It's back to Jackie now for business.
The Contiki Growth Fund has seen a slight drop in its unaudited net asset value from 40.05 cents per share to 39.69 cents. KGF says this represents investment income received and ongoing operating costs so far this year. The board and management of the fund continue to monitor operations with an eye to containing costs. During 2012, Contiki's operating costs decreased by over 25% compared to 2011. In addition, KGF says it has significantly decreased its outstanding balances owing at the end of 2012. Weather time now in Jen. We really missed you yesterday.
Thanks, Jackie. A tiny bit of fever was to blame, but it's good to be back. Looking at today's map, we all enjoyed a lovely sunny morning. Showers eventuated in the afternoon though for Suva, Savu-Savu and Lambasa. 32 degrees was today's highest temperature in 3 major centers. The jet set town was the lowest on 30. We're going to see a bit of rain tomorrow with brief showers forecast for everybody. Don't you worry, the sun will pop out however for just a little while in Lambasa and the burning west. Now take a look at this picture. Talk about intense. Alvindra, cheers for this. We really appreciate the effort. And we're also thankful to everyone else who keeps sending their pics to citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's tonight's weather. Thanks so much for joining me. Do take care, especially with this dreaded flu going around. And in case you've forgotten, stay safe and stay smiling.
Thanks so much for that, Genevieve. And the headlines once again, Fiji tells the International Sugar Organization about progress made in reviving the industry. Catholics do their part in preparations for the ordination of Father Peter Lloyd Chong, and Fintel says it's expecting more revenue from leasing out connections to the Southern Cross cable. To our poll question now, and we ask, can Fiji win the Pacific Nations Cup? To answer, as always, visit our FBC website. Remember to send us newsworthy pictures and videos. Email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj. That's news tonight. See you tomorrow.
How would you like to spend your morning? You could spend your morning like this. Or you could spend it like this.
Tune in to the Morning Ride every weekday morning from 9 a.m. till 12 p.m. right here on Today FM, Today's Hit Music.
Bula, I'm DJ Toro. Join me every Monday to Thursday, 7 until midnight. The premium classics on Gold FM, only the classic hits.